Yes, good morning students. My name is Rajesh, School Assistant Biological Sciences, ZBHS Lingala, Nandyal district. Children, after tomorrow you are going to write the examination. So I have prepared 4 model papers. So these questions are very important for your exam, public examination. So I would like to discuss these 4 guessing papers which I have written by me based on blueprint. I have written these questions. Let us discuss one more questions. So the first question is, which hormone is known as fight or flight hormone? Which hormone is known as fight or flight hormone? So the answer is adrenaline. Adrenaline is the fight. Adrenaline, A-D-R-E-N-A-L-I-N-E. Adrenaline is a fight or flight or fright hormone. It is called as 3F hormone. Next question is, what does this symbol denotes? Second question. What does this symbol denotes? So what does this symbol denotes? It denotes World AIDS Day, December 1st. December 1st, World AIDS Day. It's a red ribbon. It's a red ribbon. Okay. Next, third question. Expand. IUCN. So they may ask IUCN or ARCH or AIDS, HIV, ICRISAT, BBF, like that they may ask different types of abbreviations. I have written few abbreviations which may be important for your examination. So IUCN. So what is IUCN? International Union for Conservation of Nature. International Union for Conservation of Nature. Second one is ARCH. ARCH. What is ARCH? A-R-T. ARCH. Antiretroviral therapy. Antiretroviral therapy. So second one is AIDS. What is the full form of AIDS? What is the full form of AIDS? AIDS, A stands for acquired, I stands for immuno, D stands for deficiency syndrome. Acquired, okay ma? Immuno deficiency acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, AIDS. So next one is expand HIV. HIV. H stands for human. I stands for immunodeficiency virus. So next one is ICRISAT. It is also so important for your examination. For one more, ICRISAT. I stands for international. C stands for crop. R stands for research. I stands for institute. For S stands for semi. A stands for arid tropics. So International Crop Research Institute for Semi-Arid Tropics. So next question, fourth question. Write any 2 slogans on eco-friendly activities. So fourth question, they ask regarding slogans on eco-friendly activities or water conservation or soil conservation or organ donation, like that number of questions they may frame and they may ask these questions. And it's so important, no doubt, one question will be asked for your public examination. So here the question is, write any 2 slogans on eco-friendly activities. So eco-friendly activities, so you know that go green breathe clean. And next one is better environment, better tomorrow. Better environment and better tomorrow. So what is the first one? Slogans on eco-friendly activities. So I am writing very fastly because we don't have more time. So we can write few slogans like go green, breathe clean. Go green, breathe clean. Stop polluting the environment. Stop polluting the environment. Better environment, better tomorrow. Better environment, better tomorrow. If you cannot reuse, at least refuse it. So what are the 4 slogans on eco-friendly activities? Go green, breathe clean, stop polluting the environment, better tomorrow. If you cannot reuse, reuse, at least you refuse. Okay. So you can write any slogans on eco-friendly activities. Plant the trees, save the life. Like that, number of slogans you can write on eco-friendly activities. Don't use polythene bags. Instead of polythene bags, we can use paper bags. Stop using polythene bags. Like that, you can write a number of slogans on eco-friendly activities. At the same time, another question will be asked, like write any 2 slogans on water conservation. Water conservation. So, slogans on water conservation. So, always save water. Water is precious. Water is life. Water is life. Water is life. So slogans on water conservation. Slogans on water conservation. So always save water. Always save water. So water is life. So every drop counts. Every drop matters. Like that, you can write a number of slogans. Our life totally depends on water. Our life depends on water. Water is precious. Water is precious. Like that, number of slogans can be written on water conservation. At the same time, they may ask, how do you use the water in proper method? So like that, they may ask the question. For that, you can write like you can use drip irrigation so that water can be minimized. Usage of water can be minimized. At the same time, rainwater harvesting could be implemented so that we can recharge the underground water. Like that, you can write number of water conservation methods. Also, you can write rainwater harvesting, drip irrigation. Like that, you can write number of methods to conserve the water. So these are 1 mark questions in the guessing paper 1. At the same time, there is also another question, 5th question. Write the phenotypic and genotypic ratio for monohybrid cross. So the monohybrid cross. So what is monohybrid cross? The cross between 2 pairs of contrasting traits. The cross between 2 pairs of contrasting traits. So here in monohybrid cross, he has asked, write the genotypic and phenotypic ratio for the following monohybrid cross. So he has given Punnett square, capital T, small t, capital T, small t. You know already it's a Punnett square. So in this Punnett square, one is male, another one is female plant. So capital T, tall plant, pure homozygous tall plant, capital T, small t, heterozygous tall plant, capital T, small t, heterozygous tall plant, small t, pure homozygous dwarf plant. So he has asked the phenotypic ratio as well as genotypic ratio. So what is the phenotypic ratio? So the phenotypic ratio means external appearance. So capital T, tall, capital T, small t denotes tall, capital T, small t denotes tall. So tall plants are 3 and dwarf plant small t, dwarf plant is 1. So phenotypic ratio is 3:1 and the genotypic ratio for monohybrid cross is 1:2:1. Capital T 1, capital T, small t 2. Here 1, here 1. 1 plus 1 2 and small t 1. So the genotypic ratio is 1:2:1. So let us discuss about the next guest paper. So a cross that involves only one pair of contrasting traits is a monohybrid cross. I have told 2 pairs. A cross that involves only one pair, not 2 pairs. So just rectify this answer. Monohybrid cross means a cross that involves only one pair of contrasting traits, not 2 pairs. So next question, if you want to know more about flow of energy in an ecosystem, what questions you would like to ask? So what questions you would like to ask about the flow of energy? So for example, to an ecosystem, where does the energy come from? Where does the energy come from? How much amount of energy is transferred from? How much amount of energy is transferred from one trophic level to next trophic level. Like that you can frame a number of questions. Next, let us discuss about the 1 mark questions in model paper 2. So what is synapse? How it is useful? So what is synapse and how it is useful? What is synapse? Children, synapse means a functional gap between 2 neurons, or the gap between 2 neurons. A gap between 2 neurons is called as a synapse. So what is the use of this synapse? Synapse, what is the use? Just it transmits the information from one neuron to another neuron. Okay, just it transmit the information or messages from one neuron to another neuron. Okay, let us discuss about the next one. So I have given one logo in which it was given like this. So yes. Like this it is given in the question paper. So what does it denotes? It denotes sustainable development. It denotes sustainable development. What is sustainable development? Development without harming the environment in such a way that the resources should be there in the future. Development without harming the environment. So you can develop. How you can develop? You can develop without harming the environment. That is called as sustainable development. Okay. So next one is complete the flow chart. So he has given a flow chart in which one is empty. So second one is primary consumer. Next secondary consumer, tertiary consumer. Like that he has given. So he told to fill this empty box. So what would be the answer? The first one, always the food chain starts with the producers. Okay, always the food chain starts with the producers. So answer is producers. Next, Write any 2 precautions to prevent the STDs. Write any 2 precautions to prevent the STDs. What are STDs? Sexually transmitted diseases like gonorrhea, syphilis and AIDS. Gonorrhea, syphilis, AIDS. These are sexually transmitted diseases. So write any 2 precautions to prevent the STDs. So you have to follow the ethics. Ethics means values. Even though there are a number of contraceptives, you should not. Even though there are number of contraceptives, you are not supposed to cross the border. At the same time, the contraceptives may not stop the STDs. At the same time, avoid sex with multiple partners or strangers. At the same time, you should be faithful to your life partner. Right. Next. So he has given one box, digestive. So next question is, they have given a tabular column regarding digestive enzymes. So in this tabular column, the they have given bile secreted by liver, secreted into duodenum, digestive juice, bile juice, acts on fats, products, small globules. Second one is thylline enzyme or salivary amylase, secreted by salivary glands, secreted into buccal cavity. A digestive juice that is secreted from the salivary glands is saliva and acts on carbohydrates and converts the carbohydrates into dextrose and maltose. So the first question, so whenever they have given a tabular column, please go through the tabular column so that the answer will be within the tabular column. Like this, 3 tabular columns will be asked in our exam. So the first question is, which digestive juice do not contain enzymes? Already it was given, no enzymes. What is the digestive juice? That is nothing but bile juice, that is secreted by liver. What is the second one? Name the enzyme present in the saliva. So you know that in the saliva there is an enzyme called salivary amylase, or you can write as thylline. P silent, P-T-Y-A-L-I-N, thylline. You can write as thylline. Next question. If you visit a doctor, what questions you would like to clarify about pancreas? So, you know that pancreas is a mixed gland, isn't it? It secretes the digestive juice as well as it secretes a hormone called insulin. So, what questions you would like to ask about pancreas when you visit a doctor? So, what is pancreas? Why it is known as, or why it is called as mixed gland? What is the size of the pancreas? Where it is located? What is the color of the pancreas? Is diabetes mellitus is related to pancreas or not? Like that you can write anything. In simple method you can write what is the size of the pancreas, where is the location of the pancreas, what is the color of the pancreas, what is the weight of the pancreas. Like this you can write number of questions so that you can score easily 1 mark. Let us discuss about the 1 mark questions in guest paper 3. So in guest paper 3, why it is necessary to keep the plant in a dark room for a week? Why it is necessary? So to remove the starch from the plant. So hence we are going to keep the plant, potted plant, in a dark room for a week, so that within that week the plant is going to utilize the starch, whatever the starch that is formed within that 7 days, the plant is going to utilize the total starch. Second question is, identify the process shown in the given diagram. So in the first lesson, nutrition, in the heterotrophic nutrition, he has given the amoeba, he has given this amoeba diagram, and already in the first lesson you might have seen. So what process is going on? The question asks like this: what process is going on? So what process is going on here? What process is going on? So what process is going on is the nutrition in amoeba. Nutrition in amoeba. Okay, it is intaking the food with the help of a false feed called pseudopodium. Next, why legs are swollen when we sit and travel to longer distance? Why legs are swollen? Legs are swollen because due to accumulation of tissue fluid. Okay, Due to accumulation of tissue fluid, the legs are swollen. You can reduce the swelling by walking or by running. You can reduce the swelling, or by doing few exercises you can reduce the swelling. Okay. So why legs are swollen means the answer is due to storage or accumulation or collection of tissue fluid. Next, fourth question. Write any two slogans to stop female feticide. So killing the baby in the womb of the mother is called as feticide. So feticide, stop feticide. Stop killing a baby girl. Let her see the world. Like that you can write few slogans on stop female feticide. So say no to female feticide. Female feticide. Let her see the world. Let her see the world. Stop killing a baby girl. Female feticide or feticide is a crime. Feticide is a crime. So please don't kill the baby girl. Save her, because this baby girl in the future she may become into a doctor or engineer or a teacher. So don't kill the baby girl. These are the slogans. Say no to female feticide. Let her see the world. Stop killing a baby girl. Feticide is a crime. The baby girl may become into a doctor or a teacher or whatever it may be. So these are the slogans which is very important for your examination. 100% it is important. Next, fifth question. Fifth question is tabular column. So phytohormones were given, plant hormones like ethylene, abscisic acid, and uses was given like ethylene ripening of fruit, abscisic acid closing of stomata. The first question is name the fruit ripening hormone. Fruit ripening hormone is already it is ethylene, and write the uses of abscisic acid. So it is closing of stomata. By observing the tabular column you can write the answers easily. Next, sixth question is to keep your kidneys healthy. What questions you would like to ask the nephrologist or urologist? To keep your kidneys healthy. So what questions you are going to ask? So like how much amount of water should be intaken by us daily to keep our kidneys healthy? What type of food should be taken to keep our kidneys healthy? How long we have to do exercises to keep our kidney healthy? Like that, any related questions you can write regarding the kidneys to prevent the stone formation. In kidneys, what precautions we have to take? Like that, you can write different types of questions. Right. Next, one more question. Guess paper 4, section 1. Which disease occurs when there is an immediate second pregnancy or repeated childbirths? So, due to repeated childbirths, marasmus. It is a protein calorie malnutrition due to deficiency of both proteins as well as calories. And when there is an immediate second pregnancy, there is a disease occurs in children. That is marasmus. Very important, marasmus. Next, a logo was asked. That is already you are very familiar with this logo. What is that logo? Just see it. So it is given like this, in a triangle shape. It was given like this. What is this logo? It is a recycle logo. It is a recycle logo. Next, what are greenhouse gases? Next question, what are greenhouse gases? So carbon dioxide, methane, chlorofluorocarbons. Carbon dioxide, CO2, is a chief greenhouse gas, plus methane, CH4, CFCs, chlorofluorocarbons. Next question. Write any 4 slogans on organ donation. So you can write any 4 slogans regarding the organ donation, like save life after a life, save life after a life, let someone thank you, let someone thank you, you can live after the death, you can live after the death, a second chance is in your hands, live after death, live after death, be kind-hearted by donating your organs. Next, save a life after life. Save a life after life. Next, let someone say thank you. So slogans on organ donation: live after death, be kind-hearted by donating your organs, save a life after life, let someone say thank you, you can live even after your death. Next question is the fifth question. They have given a graph regarding heartbeat and pulse. So what is the relationship between pulse rate and heartbeat? You already know that heartbeat and pulse rate is always equal. That you have to write. So the relationship between the heartbeat and pulse rate is always equal. If you have chance to meet pulmonologist, what questions you would like to ask about pulmonary respiration? So questions like, pulmonologist means a person who deals with the structure and functioning. It's nothing but physiology of lungs. So what is the size of the lungs, where it is located, what is the weight of the lungs, what is asthma, how can we cure asthma, is there any medicines regarding asthma, who will suffer with pneumonia, like that you can ask. Is why does smoking causes lung cancer, like that you can ask different types of questions. Okay, pulmonologist, lungs. Okay, what questions you would like to ask about pulmonary respiration? What is pulmonary respiration? How much amount of gas we can inhale, even after exhalation, how much amount of gas is, amount of gas can be utilized even after exhalation, like that you can ask any question related to lungs. Okay, let us discuss about the section 2. I have discussed 4 guest papers: section 1, guest paper 1, guest paper 2, guest paper 3, guest paper 4. Okay, let us discuss about the 2 marks questions. Right. Why did Mendel choose a pea plant? Now I am discussing the section 2 2 marks questions. Why did Mendel choose a pea plant? Why he has chosen pea plant? So there are 5 to 6 points. You can write any 4 points which are easy. I will write on the board, just see it. So why Mendel has selected pea plant? So it is easy to cultivate, Second one, easy to conduct cross pollination. Next, it is an annual plant in which it completes its life cycle within 1 year. It is an annual plant. Next, early hybridization. Bisexual flowers. See, first answer is easy to cultivate, easy to conduct cross pollination. It is an annual plant. Bisexual flowers is seen. Early hybridization. Generally, self pollination is seen, but it is easy to conduct cross pollination, easy to cultivate, annual plant, like that you can write number of points. It is also an important question. Next question. What will happen if the potted plant kept near the window in the room? So what will happen if the potted plant kept near the window in the room? What happens if a potted plant is kept near the window? It will grow towards the sunlight, towards the window. So why it is growing towards the sunlight? If we keep a potted plant near the window, why it is going towards the sunlight? It is due to auxins that act on bending of the stem. So auxins act on bending of the stem is the answer. Simply you can write it grows towards the sunlight, and auxins, it is due to auxins, you can write simply. Next, 9th question regarding a tabular column. Okay, they will give a tabular column. A filled tabular column will be given, like phytohormones or excretory organs, whatever it may be, they will give. By seeing the tabular column, you are supposed to write the answers. You have to read the questions, you have to carefully observe the tabular column, analyze it so that you can write the answers. Next, imagine if wastes are not sent out of the body, what happens? What happens if the wastes are not sent out of the body? No doubt, all the waste materials will get collected or accumulated within the body. So the body becomes swollen. The body becomes swollen, and the disease is known as uremia. What do you call it as? It is called as uremia. So accumulation of waste products, in the body is known as uremia. So due to accumulation, the body becomes swollen up. So that is called as uremia. So it is also an important question. Next, section 3. Now we are moving to section 3, 4 marks question. So how to reduce the mosquito population? So how to reduce the mosquito population? It comes under environmental science. Okay, how to reduce this mosquito population? So to reduce the mosquito population, there should not be any stagnant water. See that there should not be any stagnant water. And if there is a stagnant water, you can add kerosene so that the larva of the mosquito cannot respire. And you can use like insectivorous plants like insectivorous plants like Utricularia. Utricularia can be utilized in the ponds or wherever there is a stagnant water. If we introduce that Utricularia plant, so that it is going to intake the mosquito larvae. And first thing is keep your surroundings clean. So first point is keeping your surroundings clean. Second one is there should not be any stagnant water or still water. If there is a stagnant water, you can add kerosene. At the same time, introduce insectivorous plants. Next, this is a 4 marks question. Draw a neat label diagram of nerve cell. So draw a neat labeled diagram of nerve cell. You know that nerve cell contains 3 parts. One is cyton, that contains nucleus. This is nucleus. These are cell granules. Cytoplasm, number of cell organelles will be present, and these are dendrites. I am drawing a rough diagram because there is very less amount of time. And this is axon, and these are nerve terminals or pterodendrites. And these are synaptic knobs, and this is myelin sheath, and this is neurolemma, and this is nucleus. This is squamous cell, you can call it as squamous cell, and this is cell body, cellbody, and this is axon. And these are dendrites, and these are nerve terminals. Important. Nerve cell, draw a neat level diagram of nerve cell, or they may ask draw a neat level diagram of neuron. Okay. So this is cyton. This is within the cyton or cell body. A nucleus is present, cell granules are present, dendrites and axon, which is covered by myelin sheath, neurolemma, and there is a squamous cell. And there are nerve terminals. It helps in transferring the information. Let us discuss about the next one. So within this 12th question, there is an internal choice may be given. So the internal choice, like draw a neat level diagram of nerve cell, or which process is, observe the diagram and which process is going on. He has asked which process is going on. See, he has given like this. So 7th lesson, coordination in life process. I think it is 7th activity, I think so. So he has given like this. So there is a, by observing, you can say it is a peristaltic movement. Okay. So here is a potato. Here is a potato. It is a tube, a rubber tube. So no oil is applied on the potato as well as on the inner surface of the tube. So whenever we insert these potatoes, we are unable to push the potatoes or squeeze the potatoes. We cannot push the potatoes. Whereas when we apply oil on the inner surface of the rubber tube and on the potato, we can easily push the potato in the rubber tube. Why? Because the surface of the potato is applied with the oil, as well as on the inner surface of the rubber tube is also applied with the oil, so that when you push it, you can see a movement. What is that movement called as? What do you call that contraction and relaxation of the muscles? That movement is called as peristaltic movement. What is that movement? Peristalsis movement. Wave-like movements due to contraction and relaxation of muscles is called as peristaltic movement. Okay, it's very important. Even for 8 marks they may ask. Next, 13th question is they may give a tabular column, fill the tabular column. You are supposed to observe the tabular column and you have to write the answers. Tabular column may be regarding the digestive enzymes or the endocrine glands and hormones or phytohormones or whatever it may be. Whatever the tabular column he may ask, you are supposed to write the answer for the tabular column by observing. It is a 4 marks question. Easily you can score. Don't leave the tabular column question and answers, which are very important. Okay, next 14th question. Explain any 4 environment friendly methods of pest control. So this question may be asked in different way also. Like, should we use pesticides as they prevent our crop and food from pest, or should we think alternatives? Write your view about this issue, or explain any 4 environment friendly methods of pest control. So friendly methods of eco-friendly methods of pest control. So it is this question asked from the 9th lesson, our environment. So the answer is yes, we can use few eco-friendly pest control methods like crop rotation. Second one is sterility. Studying the life history of pest or insects. Environmental ethics. Like this, few points were given in our textbook. So the first one is crop rotation. Crop rotation means instead of growing the same crop for next years, if you cultivate tomato crop, in the next year we are supposed to cultivate the groundnut crop. Like that, leguminous crop should be cultivated in the next year. Okay, so that instead of growing the same crop for consecutive years or for 2 years or 3 years, same crop is cultivated in the same soil. So then the nutrients will be utilized by these plants as well as the pest easily get infected to the plants. So by using crop rotation we can control the pest. Second one is sterility. Sterility means rendering these reproductive organs of males. So by rendering or making the reproductive system sterile, so that the insects cannot copulate or they cannot mate. The male insect cannot mate with the female insect by a process called sterility. Okay. Next one is studying the life history of pest. So by studying the life history of pest, we can easily control the harmful pest. Next one is environmental ethics. You know that what is good and what is wrong already you know. So don't use over pesticides. Instead of using the over pesticides, better to use the biopesticides to stop the pest. Biopesticides is the best option. At the same time, using few genetic strains. So you can use genetic strains which can these genetic strains are very strong. Even though these insects feed on these plants or plant products, no doubt these insects will die and does not harm these plants cannot harm the human beings or other animals. Okay, these are the few steps. So the question is, explain any 4 environment friendly methods of pest control. Crop rotation. Second one is sterility, making the reproductive organs sterile. Whose reproductive organs? Insects reproductive organs. Studying the life history of pest. So by studying the life history, you are able to cultivate in which month you can cultivate that crop, you are able to understand. Next one is environmental ethics. You know what is correct and what is wrong. Instead of using over pesticides, better to use biopesticides, and genetic strains is better to develop the genetic strains. Okay, right. So next question is, almost all the living world depends on plants for food. How do you appreciate the process of making food by the green plants? So how do you appreciate? So what is appreciation? So whenever someone does a very good work, then we are going to appreciate them. Isn't it or not? If someone helps the poor, then definitely we are going to appreciate them. So why we should appreciate the green plants? Children, green plants are going to absorb a greenhouse gas called carbon dioxide. Okay, by utilizing the carbon dioxide and water in the presence of sunlight with the help of chlorophyll, they are preparing carbohydrates. Along with that, they are producing a universal life gas or survival gas, universal survival gas called oxygen. We are able to live in this planet because of oxygen which are going to produce by the green plants by performing photosynthesis. So first point is, plants are preparing the carbohydrates, proteins and even fats. At the same time, those carbohydrates are utilized by millions of the organisms in the universe. Without plants, there is no food. So universal food providers are green plants. Second point is, they are providing lots of oxygen. At the same time, they are absorbing, third point, they are absorbing a greenhouse gas called carbon dioxide. Fourth point, these green plants are utilizing the sunlight without depending on any other sources. They are simply using the sunlight and producing food for the millions of the people. So we are supposed to appreciate, because without the plants we cannot live on the earth. Okay, like that you can write few more points regarding this photosynthesis. Okay, they are able to convert that solar energy is converted into chemical energy, isn't it or not? So carbohydrates are chemical energy. The solar energy is converted into chemical energy with the help of the green plants and providing oxygen, absorbing carbon dioxide, whatnot. Like that you can write number of points. Next, section 4 regarding 8 marks. So in 8 marks, one question will be asked from academic standard 1, second question will be asked from the academic standard 3. So academic standard 1, the first question is in section 4, write the differences between sexual and asexual reproduction. So what are those differences between sexual and asexual reproduction? Let us discuss asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction, asexual reproduction. So first point, it involves only one organism. Sexual reproduction involves two organisms. It takes less time and it is very fast process. It takes more time and it's slow process. No formation of gametes in asexual reproduction. No formation of gametes. There is a formation of gametes. Okay, children. No formation of gametes. There is a formation of gametes. No fusion of gametes. No fusion of gametes. There is a fusion, means combined. There is a fusion of gametes in asexual reproduction. And the offsprings or the young ones will be the Xerox copy of their parents. There will be no variation. No variation in the young ones. Lot of variation is seen. So it is not useful for the evolution, whereas in sexual reproduction it is very useful for the evolution. Like that you can write number of points. It involves only one organism, it involves two organisms, it will take less time, it will take more time. It is a very fast process. Sexual reproduction is a slow process. No formation of gametes. In sexual reproduction there is a formation of gametes. In asexual reproduction there is no fusion of gametes. In sexual reproduction there is a fusion of gametes. No variation in the young ones. There is a lot of variation. It's seen here. Only mitosis will take place. Here meiosis followed by mitosis. Like that you can write a number of points regarding asexual and sexual reproduction difference, which is very important for your examination. Asexual reproduction examples like binary fission, which one organism divides into two, like paramecium, and budding, example yeast. Fragmentation, parent organism divides into number of pieces, each piece will develop into a new organism, example Spirogyra. Regeneration, if a lizard loses its tail, again it is going to regenerate its tail. Planaria, example, one more example, parthenogenesis, like that. All those examples comes under asexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction, it takes place in human beings, plants, as well as in different types of animals. Sexual reproduction takes place where fertilization, pollination takes place, like that. Okay. Let us discuss about the next question. Should we use pesticides as they prevent our crop and food from pests? Just now I have told. Or should we think of alternatives? We should not use pesticides. We have to think alternatives like biopesticides. Just now I told, genetic strains, so that they are able to resist the pest, genetic strains. At the same time, studying the life history of pest as well as sterility, making the reproductive organs sterile. Insects' reproductive organs to make the reproductive organs of insects sterile, like that. You can write number of points. Just now I have told. Next question, AS3, 17th question. Action of saliva on floor. Or how do you prove that heat is liberated during respiration? Don't leave the 17th question, because 17th question comes from lesson 1, lesson 2 and lesson 7. So experiments are, more number of experiments are seen in lesson 1 nutrition, lesson 2 respiration, and 7th lesson coordination and life process. Okay. So action of saliva on floor, very important. So here you can see, take a test tube. Already you know that for an activity 5 points should remain in your mind. The first one is aim, second one is materials required, third one is procedure, fourth one is observation, fifth one is result. So what is the aim? So to prove that salivary amylase acts on starch. Okay. So action of saliva on floor. Aim is nothing but whatever the question was given in your question paper, the same question will act as a aim. So by seeing the question you can write aim. Materials required. What are the materials required for this activity? So we need a test tube, we need a petri dish, and we need floor. We need some floor. So add some amount of water into the test tube and add some amount of flour. Just shake the test tube so that the flour gets dissolved in the water. Now it becomes a flour solution or a starch solution. It becomes a starch solution. By shaking it, it becomes a starch solution as the flour or the starch gets dissolved in the water. Let us take few drops from the test tube into the petri dish. Now add few drops of iodine. When you add few drops of iodine into this starch solution, what happens? It turns into bluish black color. Indicates the presence of starch. Now take one more test tube and pour half of the starch solution into this test tube B. This is test tube A and this is test tube B. Add some amount of starch solution in test tube B. Now to one of the test tube, either this test tube B or test tube A, add saliva. We'll add saliva into test tube B. Okay. A teaspoonful of saliva is added into test tube A. Don't add anything in test tube B. Leave it for half an hour or 1 hour. After that, you add few drops of iodine reagent in the test tube A as well as in test tube B. What happens? Test observation. The observation is as the test tube A contains saliva contains salivary amylase or thylline. That salivary amylase acts on the starch and converts into dextrose or maltose. That means there is no starch here. It is already converted into dextrose and maltose. So bluish black color is not seen in test tube A. Bluish black color is not seen in test tube A, whereas bluish black color is seen in test tube B. Bluish black color is seen in test tube B, whereas in bluish black color is not seen in test tube A due to the presence of saliva, because the salivary amylase acts on the starch. So result is the saliva definitely acts on the starch. That is the result. So next question is experiment based question. That is, how do you prove that heat is liberated during respiration? See, in second lesson, these two activities are very important for 8 marks. One is how do you prove that carbon dioxide is liberated during respiration? How do you prove that heat is liberated during respiration? So the question asked is, how do you prove that heat is liberated during respiration? So for this, the aim is to prove that heat is liberated during respiration. So what are the materials required? We need a thermoflask, or we need a bottle or a thermoflask. We need a thermoflask or a bottle. And add a handful of germinated seeds. Not dry seeds, germinated seeds. Now insert a one-hole rubber cork. To the mouth of the bottle. One-hole rubber cork. There is a hole here. So now insert a thermometer into the germinated seeds. See that the bulb of the thermometer should get immersed into the germinated seeds. It should get dipped into the germinated seeds. It should not above the bulb of the thermometer should not above the germinated seeds. It should get inserted into the germinated seeds. Now just record the initial observation. After 1 or 2 hours, you will see slowly the temperature in the thermometer gets increased. Why the temperature in the thermometer gets increased? Because germinated seeds undergoes respiration and produces heat, so that the temperature in the thermometer has been increased. So similarly, one more question will be asked. How do you prove that carbon dioxide is produced during respiration? So in this, what you have to take? You have to take a small beaker should be kept. A small beaker should be kept at a corner. A small beaker should be kept. So in this beaker, you have to add lime water. You have to insert a rubber cork. You have to insert a rubber cork. So same. What happens if you keep these germinated seeds in a jar or in a wash bottle or in a thermoflask? What happens? So the beaker, we have taken a lime water in the beaker. So after 1 or 2 hours or few hours, what happens? The lime water turns into milky white. This is very, very important. The lime water turns into milky white. Why does the lime water turns into milky white? Because germinated seeds utilize oxygen during respiration and produces carbon dioxide. That gas turns the lime water into milky white, which is very, very important for your examination. 8 marks question. Don't leave this question. Okay. Right. This is about the next guest paper. I think guest paper 2 is completed. Let us discuss about the guest paper 3. So why do 2 marks question? Why do fish and frog produce a huge number of eggs? Why do fish and frogs produce huge number of eggs each year? because in fishes as well as in frogs, external fertilization takes place. What is external fertilization? Fertilization that takes place outside the body of the animal. That is example in the water. If the fertilization takes place outside the body of the animal, then it is called as external fertilization. As the fertilization is under the control of nature, fishes and frogs are going to produce number of gametes. A large number of eggs are released into the water. Large number of sperms are released into the water. So that the chance of fertilization is under the control of nature. So they are producing more number of eggs as well as male gametes. Why? Because chance of fertilization is under the control of nature. Next question. What happens if salivary ducts are closed? If salivary ducts are closed, what happens? The mouth becomes dry. No doubt. Mouth becomes dry. There will be swelling in the salivary glands because they are unable to produce the saliva. Hence, the saliva gets accumulated within the salivary glands, and there will be pain and there will be swelling. At the same time, our mouth becomes very dry and starch is not digested. So these 4 points you have to write. Starch is not digested, swelling of salivary glands, there will be pain in the salivary glands. At the same time, the mouth becomes dry. Next, 9th question, 2 marks question. Any tabular column they may ask, and by observing the tabular column you are supposed to write the answers. Don't leave this 9th question. Next, what will happen if you remove the predators from food web? What happens? Predators, the animal which hunts the other animal is a predator. The other one becomes as a prey. Whatever the animal that hunts the other animal is a predator. For example, tiger is a predator, deer is a prey. Deer is a prey. So if you remove the predators from food web, what happens? So if you remove the predators, automatically the producers will increase. Isn't it or not? No doubt the producers will get increased. At the same time, the ecological imbalance takes place. The food chain gets disturbed, the food web gets disturbed, ecological imbalance takes place. Total ecosystem will be disturbed if the top predators are removed. No doubt the producers may get a decrease, because if the predators are removed, the producers are decreased, not increased. The producers may decrease because these carnivores, these herbivores are going to feed on these producers. If the predators are not there, no doubt these herbivores or these primary consumers are going to intake these producers. So the producers will get decreased. No doubt the producers will not get increased, the producers will get decreased if the top predators are removed. Okay. Next, write the differences between systole and diastole, bolus and chyme, small intestine, large intestine. So let us discuss about the 4 marks questions. Section 3, write the differences. 11th question, write the differences between systole and diastole. Systole and diastole. So what is systole? Contraction of heart. Contraction of heart is systole. Diastole means relaxation. Relaxation of heart. Is it or not? Yes. Next, what would be the blood pressure? Systolic blood pressure will be 120 mm of Hg mercury, whereas diastolic blood pressure is 80 mm of Hg mercury. So we can add a few more points, like it is an active phase. Systolic phase is an active phase, whereas diastole is a resting phase. It is a resting phase. Active phase is systole, whereas resting phase is diastole, and more blood pressure is seen in systole, whereas less blood pressure is seen in diastole. So what are the differences between systole and diastole? Contraction of heart, is systole, relaxation is diastole. Blood pressure in systole is about normal blood pressure is 120 mm of Hg, whereas normal diastolic blood pressure is 80 mm of Hg. It is an active phase, whereas diastole is a resting phase. More blood pressure is seen in systole, blood pressure is seen in diastole. Let us discuss about the next question. That is the differences between bolus and chyme. Let us discuss about the differences between bolus and chyme. So here, what is bolus and what is chyme? Let us know. So where does this bolus is formed? Let us know. So what is bolus? Food in the form of ball-like structure is bolus. Food in the form of ball-like structure. Then what is chyme? It is a semi-fluid food. It is a semi-fluid food. To form bolus, which structures helps teeth and tongue helps to form bolus, and it is formed in the mouth. Whereas in chyme is formed due to peristaltic movement of stomach. So bolus is seen in buccal cavity or in the mouth, whereas chyme is seen in stomach. Bolus is alkaline in nature, whereas it is acidic in nature. So these are few differences between bolus and chyme. Food in the form of ball-like structure is called bolus. Semi-fluid food is chyme. Teeth and tongue helps in forming the bolus, whereas peristaltic movement of stomach makes the bolus into chyme, and bolus is formed in the buccal cavity or in the mouth, whereas chyme is formed in the stomach. Bolus is alkaline in nature, and this chyme is acidic in nature. Like this you can write differences between bolus and chyme. Let us discuss about the differences between small intestine as well as large intestine. So the small intestine, why it is known as small intestine? Because the width of the small intestine is very less. So small intestine and large intestine. So here the width of the small intestine is very less. Width of the small intestine is less, whereas the width of the large intestine is more. Width is more, but small intestine length is more when compared to large intestine. What is the length of the small intestine? Is about 6 meters. Length is 6 meters, whereas large intestine is only 1.5 meters. In the small intestine, there are finger-shaped like structure called villi. Finger-shaped like structure called villi, whereas in large intestine, villi is absent. Totally, it is absent. So, at the same time, more digestion, complete digestion takes place. Complete digestion takes place in small intestine, whereas there is no digestion takes place in large intestine. Only reabsorption of water takes place in the large intestine. Hence, there is no digestion in the large intestine. And the small intestine also contains few parts like duodenum, jejunum, ileum, as well as large intestine contains colon, ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon, sigmoid colon, rectum, anus. All these parts comes under large intestine. So, what are the simple differences? Just simple differences. What are those? Width is less in small intestine, width is more in large intestine. Length is about 6 meters, too long. Whereas large intestine it is 1.5 meters. Small intestine contains, inner surface of the small intestine contains finger-shaped like structures called villi that helps in absorption of food materials, whereas villi is action in large intestine. There is no digestion in the large intestine, whereas complete digestion takes place in the small intestine. So these are the main differences between small intestine and large intestine. Let us discuss about the next question. Draw a neat labeled diagram of chloroplast. It is very important. Draw a neat labeled diagram of chloroplast. It is the 12th question. Draw a neat labeled diagram of chloroplast and write its function. So here, chloroplast is a oval shape or disc shaped structure, and you can see here I am drawing two membranes, outer membrane and inner membrane. One is outer membrane, another one is inner membrane, and there are a network of structures are present. We call them as thylakoids. A network of structures called thylakoids. These are thylakoids. These thylakoids are grouped together to form granum. You can see these thylakoids forms as a stack. This stack of thylakoids is called granum. Stack of thylakoids is granum, and there is a colorless fluid is present. This colorless fluid is called stroma, and in the grana, plural is grana, singular is granum. In the granum, light reactions takes place where the energy is captured for the formation of starch, whereas in stroma, dark reactions takes place where the glucose molecules are formed and combined to form starch with the help of enzymes. At the same time, we can see the colorless fluid contains number of enzymes. Different types of enzymes are present. Along with that, there are photosynthetic pigments are present. These photosynthetic pigments are the molecules or the substances that is absorbing a particular wavelength of sunlight. Molecules are the substances that absorbs a particular wavelength of sunlight. They are called as pigments. So these pigments are called photosynthetic pigments. There are two types of photosynthetic pigments. One is chlorophyll A, another one is chlorophyll B. Chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B. Chlorophyll A is blue-green in color, whereas chlorophyll B is yellow-green in color. Blue-green in color, chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B is yellow-green in color. At the same time, in the chlorophyll there is a atom, central atom, that is magnesium. Magnesium is the central atom. And the main function of the chloroplast is, it is very important. So I'll come again. The structure of chloroplast is disc shaped or oval shape and contains outer membrane, inner membrane, and the third membrane is the granum. A network of structures called thylakoid membranes are there. These thylakoids are stacked together to form granum, where the light reaction takes place. There is a colorless fluid called stroma. There are starch grains and lipid globules. At the same time, light reaction takes place in the granum, and in the dark reactions, in the stroma, dark reactions takes place. There are two types of chlorophyll molecules, chlorophyll A as well as chlorophyll B. Chlorophyll A is blue-green in color, chlorophyll B is yellow-green in color. And in the central atom in the chlorophyll is magnesium. And what are the functions of chlorophyll? Let us discuss the functions of chloroplast. Generally, three functions we have to write. One is, there are a number of functions which traps the solar energy, converts the solar energy into chemical energy. Solar energy is converted into chemical energy. At the same time, reduction of CO2 into carbohydrates. Next, splitting of water molecule. Splitting of water molecule where the oxygen is produced. So these are the main functions. One is trap the solar energy, convert the solar energy into chemical energy, reduction of carbon dioxide into carbohydrates, splitting of water molecule. These are the functions of chloroplast, which is very, very important for your examination. Let us discuss about the next one, that is 13th question. Tabular column, types of teeth. Tabular column regarding the types of teeth. So there are 4 types of teeth. One is incisors, second one is canines, very important, third one is premolars, fourth one is molars. So simply you can remember as ICPM: incisors, canines, premolars and molars. So incisors total number is 8, canines is 4, premolars is 8, molars is 12. So generally dental formula is 2 1 2 3, 2 by 2, 1 by 1, 2 by 2, 3 by 3. 2 incisors, 1 canine, 2 premolars and 3 molars. So 2 by 2, 1 by 2. One side of the jaw, on one side of the jaw it will be 2 incisors in the upper part and 2 incisors on one side. So total becomes 8. 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. Total 8 incisors will be there and canines are present. And these incisors are in chisel shape. Chisel shape, whereas canines are pointed. You can see in lions and tigers they are pointed to tear the flesh. Whereas premolars and molars they are flat and blunt shape, somewhat wide, and they are flat. And what are the uses of these incisors? Incisors helps to cut the food. It helps in cutting the food, to cut the food, whereas canines helps in tearing. Whereas premolars and molars, both of them will help in chewing and grinding. Grinding the food. So these incisors, canines, premolars, molars, all of them will help in cutting the food, tearing the food, chewing as well as grinding the food. So this is very important. So dental formula is 2 1 2. Let us discuss about the next one, that is differences between homologous organs and analogous organs. This is the 14th question. What are homologous organs and what are analogous organs? See, homologous organs, the name itself it is telling that homologous organs and analogous organs. See, homologous organs. Homologous organs are the organs where the structure is similar but the function is different. Homo means structure is similar but function is different. So in analogous organs, structure is different. So organ structure is different but function is same. So what is the example for homologous organs? For example, forelimb of a cheetah, the hand of a human being, the claw of a mole, as well as the forelimb of a the flippers of the whale. You can see the inner structure of those forelimb of a cheetah, hand of a human being, the flippers of the whale. Internal structure is similar, but the function is different. For example, the forelimb of a cheetah helps in running, whereas hand of a human being is used for grasping, that is holding or writing or whatever it may be. The flippers of the whale or the fins of the fishes helps in swimming. The claw of the mole helps to dig a hole. But here you can see the function is different, but the internal structure of all these are similar. Okay. Whereas in analogous organs, structure is different, but function is same. For example, bats and wings of the bats as well as wings of the birds. So bats are mammals; they are flying mammals. They are producing the young ones. They nurse their babies. They are going to give the milk to their young ones. Bats. Whereas birds are different. Okay, they are aves. Here these bats are mammals. These birds are going to lay the eggs and they make a nest and they lay eggs and their wings are covered with feathers, whereas in the bat there are no feathers. Here the function is same. What is the function? Bats will fly as well as birds also will fly. Both of them will fly. The function is same, but the structure is internal structure is totally different. So these type of organs are called as analogous organs. Homologous organs, you can write example, the forelimb of a cheetah, hand of a human being, claw of a mole. The structure is similar, but function is different. Forelimb of a cheetah helps in running, hand of a human being helps in grasping, claw of a mole useful for digging. Like that. Whereas wings of a bat, example, very very important. Wings of a bat, simply remember analogous organs. 1 plus 1 offer. If you remember one, another one you can write on your own. Analogous organs, wings of a bat and wings of a bird. So both of them helps in flying, but the structure is totally different. And homologous organs, it leads to the divergent evolution. It is convergent evolution. Convergent evolution. Here, divergent evolution. So these organisms relation is too far, whereas the relation between bird and bat is too close. So it is a convergent evolution. If too close, it is convergent. If the relation is too far, it is relation of those organisms too far, it is a divergent, converge. Okay, right. There is a common ancestor for these organisms. There is no common ancestor for homologous organs. Anyhow, these 4 points are very important. Differences between homologous and analogous. Structure is similar, structure is different, function is different, function is same. Example, forelimb of cheetah, hand of a human being. Forelimb of cheetah help in running, hand of a human being is useful for grasping or holding, for writing. Wings of a bird and wings of a bat, both of them helps in flying. Divergent evolution, convergent evolution. 4 points are enough. Let us discuss about the next question, that is proper utilization of natural resources is a way to show gratitude to our nation. Can you support this statement? Give your argument. So proper utilization of natural resources is the way to show gratitude. Can you support this statement? Yes, 100% we can support this statement because natural resources are our natural wealth, isn't it or not? And they are essential for our economic growth. At the same time, it is our responsibility to protect these natural resources. If you use them in an improper way, what happens? If you use them in an improper way, no doubt in any one of the day, the natural resources are going to get disappeared and our economic growth will get reduced. So it is better to safeguard our natural resources, and growth and development of any nation depends upon the natural resources. So if we use them in improper way, no doubt natural resources will get reduced and we have to depend on other nations for the natural resources. Such a situation will definitely damage our economy. So it is our responsibility to safeguard our natural resources. Natural resources are our natural wealth, which is essential for economy, good economy. Let us discuss about the next question, that is 16th question. So what is the 16th question here? Why should we conserve forest and wildlife? Very very important. Why should we conserve forest and wildlife? This is a 8-mark question. So you already know that forest is a natural habitat for plants as well as animals. forest provides lots of oxygen. At the same time, forest is producing a number of products, isn't it or not? And the forest is the main cause of a rainfall and prevents the soil erosion. At the same time, it is a home to wild animals, and we get different types of medicines from the forest. So we get number of medicines from the forest, and forest is a cause of rainfall and reduces the soil erosion and acts as a natural habitat or a living place for different types of animals, and is a provides oxygen and absorbs more carbon dioxide. Okay, and why we should conserve the wildlife? Because wildlife is also our national wealth, isn't it or not? They maintain ecological balance. They are part of food chain, food web, and if you disturb the wildlife, total ecological disturbance takes place. And wildlife, the animals has a right to live along with us. At the same time, this forest and wildlife provides job opportunities to a number of people, and wildlife, they are our national wealth, so we are supposed to conserve the wildlife. We get different things from the forest as well as wildlife. Let us discuss about the next question, that is anaerobic respiration. Before discussing about anaerobic respiration, let us discuss about the next question, that is explain how plants gets water by osmosis through root hair. It is very important. How does plants intake water through root hair by a process called osmosis? Before discussing about absorption of water through root hair, we have to know about osmosis, in Greek to push, osmosis. So movement of molecules from lower concentration to higher concentration is called osmosis. Lower concentration, for example, buttermilk is a lower concentration, whereas the curd is a highly concentrated product. So movement of molecules to lower concentration to higher concentration through a semi-permeable membrane is called osmosis. So for this you have to draw a simple diagram, that is root hair. You are supposed to draw root hair. This root hair is surrounded by moisture, and there are number of soil particles. Wherever there is a gap, in this gap the soil particles will, in this gap the root hair will grow. Wherever there is a gap, the air will flow, at the same time water will flow in between the gaps of soil particles. So this is a root hair cell, and these are cortical cells, and this is xylem vessel, and inside there is a cytoplasm, cell wall, cell membrane, vacuole, cell membrane, vacuole, like this. Like these structures are present. And here what we have to remember, the most important thing is the soil solution. So what is soil solution? The solution that is present around this soil is a soil solution. Whatever the water that is present around this soil particles is a soil solution. So the concentration of salts or the concentration of ions is very less or low when compared to the cell sap of the root hair or the cell sap of these cortical cells. So what happens, as the concentration of ions or salts are less in soil solution, movement of molecules from lower concentration to higher concentration. Higher concentration of ions are present in the cell sap. What is cell sap? So inside the plant cells there is a vacuole. Within the vacuole there is a fluid. This is called as cell sap. So the concentration of ions in the cell sap is more when compared to the ions that is present in the soil solution. So there is a movement of molecules from lower concentration to higher concentration. Hence the molecules will move from the soil solution to root hair cell. So what happens in the root hair cell? So cell sap gets diluted as the water molecules as well as ions enters into the water, especially the water molecules enters into this cell sap. It gets diluted when compared to the neighboring cell. So it moves from lower concentration to higher concentration. Again, here it gets diluted when compared to the neighboring cell. Hence, the molecules move from this cell sap to this cell sap. Again, here the highly concentrated molecules gets diluted. And again, these molecules will move from one cell to others. Like this, number of root hair cells are present. Lots of water molecules will get accumulated in the xylem vessels and causing to push the water molecules towards the different parts of the plant. So a pressure is created in the xylem vessels of the roots. So the pressure that is exerted in the roots is called root pressure. Why root pressure is created? Because number of root hair cells are there. Root hairs are going to absorb the water. That water molecules are going to pass from one cell to another cell, get transported to one cell to another cell. As number of water molecules are present within this xylem vessel, that water molecule slowly it gets pushed up to the different parts of the plant, and there is a pressure is created in the xylem vessel which is known as root pressure. This is more than enough. And there is a simple experiment for root pressure. There is a simple experiment. You have to take a well-potted plant. You have to cut the stem above 1 centimeter. You have to cut the stem above the ground at least 5 or 6 centimeters, and then you have to insert a glass tube with the help of a clamp. You have to insert a glass tube, and you have to keep a tub that contains water. See that the bottom of the pot to be removed, so that the roots are going to absorb the water present in the tub. So what happens, you are going to add some amount of water. Let us write it as 30 milliliters. So after few hours, the roots are going to absorb the water that is present in the tub. So there is a sudden fall of water in the tub, decreasing of water in the tub. Hence there is an increase in the glass tube. It is about let us assume that it is a 50 ml increase. So 30 ml is M1, 50 ml is M2. So M2 minus M1 gives the root pressure. What is M2? M2 is 50 and M1 is 30 ml. So what is the answer? 20 milliliters. Okay. So root pressure is measured with the help of manometer. It is a simple experiment which is given in the third lesson, transportation. Let us discuss about the next question. So anaerobic respiration. So what is in the second lesson, anaerobic respiration activity was given. Very important. They may give the diagram, they may ask the questions. Okay. So here you can see in this activity, anaerobic respiration. Anaerobic respiration. See, take a thermoflask and add glucose solution, then heat for 2 minutes to remove the oxygen, and then add diazine green B. So if this diazine green B turns into pink color, that indicates there is no oxygen. If the diazine green B turns into pink color, it indicates there is less or there is no oxygen in the glucose solution, as we have heated up for 2 minutes. Then you can add yeast, single cell organism yeast. Then you have to cover this glucose solution with the help of paraffin wax to cut off the supply of oxygen. We are going to add the paraffin wax. Then you have to insert this thermoflask with two-hole rubber cork. Two-hole rubber cork. In one hole, we are going to insert a thermometer. We are going to insert a thermometer. In another hole, we are going to insert a delivery tube into the wash bottle or into the test tube. Okay, I am drawing a rough diagram. So it contains, this wash bottle or test tube contains lime water, calcium hydroxide water, and it is also fixed with one-hole rubber cork. So what happens, after some time the temperature in the thermometer increases. Why? Because in the absence of oxygen, yeast acts on glucose solution and converts that glucose solution into ethyl alcohol. And yeast is going to, as yeast acts on this glucose solution, ethyl alcohol is produced, as well as carbon dioxide is produced, as well as heat is produced. Temperature in the thermometer increases. Initial temperature is recorded. Later the temperature in the thermometer increases, that indicates heat is produced. Second one is carbon dioxide is produced. That carbon dioxide passes through this delivery tube into the lime water, where the lime water turns into milky white. That is important. Lime water turns into milky white. Whereas ethyl alcohol is produced. When you open this rubber cork, you can feel the smell of ethyl alcohol. So it is very, very important. 4 questions may be asked. The first question: this process is related to which process? This process is related to which type of respiration? It is anaerobic respiration. Second one is, why do we add this paraffin wax? Paraffin wax is added to cut off the supply of oxygen. Next one is, how do you accept that carbon dioxide is produced or not? How do you prove that carbon dioxide is produced? Because lime water turns into milky white. So why do you add diazine green bee? Diazine green bee is added because to check whether the oxygen is present or not. If it turns into pink color, that means oxygen is not there. Okay. Yes. Let us discuss about the next question. How do you prove that carbon dioxide is essential for photosynthesis? Or Moll's half-leaf experiment. So in this experiment, this question has come from the first lesson, nutrition. So how do you prove that carbon dioxide is essential for photosynthesis? So you know that 5 steps to be written: aim, minerals required, procedure, observation, result. So the first one is aim. Aim. What will you write for aim? To prove that carbon dioxide is essential for photosynthesis. Next, materials required. What do we need? We need a well-potted plant with narrow leaves, and we need well-potted plant with narrow leaves. It should be kept in a dark room for 7 days before doing the experiment. And we need a bottle, and we need a bottle. We need potassium hydroxide solution. We need a potassium hydroxide solution. And we need a cork, potassium hydroxide, and this is cork. We need a cork. Now this is KOH solution, potassium hydroxide solution, 5 to 10 ml of KOH solution. This is a narrow leaf. On the day of experiment, we have to insert this leaf into a bottle that consisting of 5 to 10 ml of KOH solution. See that half of the leaf should be present inside the bottle, half of the leaf should be present outside the bottle. The leaf which is present inside the bottle should not touch the potassium hydroxide solution. by keeping under the sunlight for a few hours. Later, detach the leaf from the plant or cut the leaf from the plant and test for the presence of starch by using iodine. Half of the leaf which is present outside the bottle turns into bluish black, whereas the leaf that is present inside the bottle is colorless. Why? Because it is provided with water, sunlight, chloroplast, everything it is provided, but carbon dioxide is absorbed. CO2, that is important. What will you write? CO2 is absorbed, ABSORBD, absorbed by KOH solution. That is very important. As the carbon dioxide is absorbed by KOH solution, half of the leaf which is present inside the bottle cannot prepare its own food. It is unable to prepare the glucose or starch molecules, even though sunlight, chloroplast, water, everything is available. Okay, this is very important for 8 marks. Okay, so 2 guest papers are completed. Let us discuss about the guest paper 3, 2 marks question, section 2, 2 marks question. What are afferent and efferent nerves? 2 marks question. What are afferent and efferent nerves? Or sensory nerves and motor nerves. What are afferent nerves? What are sensory nerves? See, they may ask a diagram, or they may ask the differences between afferent nerves, which are also known as sensory nerves. So let us draw a simple diagram. See, you are drawing a neuron. Okay. Yes, you can see here dendrites, and you can see the dendrites as well as myelin sheath. You can see a myelin sheath here. Myelin sheath, and there is a nucleus, basal ganglia. Sensory nerves. What are sensory nerves? Sensory nerves are the nerves that carry sensory information from the sense organs to brain and spinal cord. Sensory nerves means nerves that carry sensory information from the sense organs to brain and spinal cord. They are called afferent nerves or sensory nerves. Second one is mixed nerves. For mixed nerves also there is a simple diagram. Directly you can draw a neuron, dendrites, nucleus, basal granules, and myelin sheath. I'm drawing somewhat fast because there is very less amount of time, so I'm drawing a simple one. I can draw better, but as the time is less, I'm drawing rough diagrams. So it is a motor neuron. It is a motor neuron or efferent neuron. So what are motor neurons or afferent neurons? So the nerves that carry motor information from the brain and spinal cord to muscles or effectors is called a motor nerve. Simply by remembering the names of those neurons, you can write on your own. Sensory neurons carry sensory information from where? From sense organs to brain and spinal cord. Whereas motor nerves carry motor information from brain and spinal cord to effectors. Effectors are nothing but muscles, glands, etc. Okay, you can write on your own. Let us discuss about the next 2 marks question. This is very important. Afferent neurons or afferent nerves, secondary afferent nerves, sensory nerves, and efferent nerves, which are also called as motor nerves. What will happen if cell sap of root hair cells contain high concentration of ions? 8th question. What will happen if cells of root hair cells contain high concentration of ions? If cell sap contains higher concentration of ions, what happens? So more molecules will enter into the root hair cell. If more water molecules enters into the root hair cell, what happens? Automatically the cell sap of the root hair gets diluted. More amount of water molecules are entering into the cell sap of the root hair, it gets diluted. So If the concentration of the cell sap, higher concentration of ions are present in the cell sap of the root hair cells, nothing will happen. Just the osmosis will get increased. More number of water molecules will move from the soil solution into the root hair cell. That's it. Nothing. Ninth one is any tabular column in the textbook. So a tabular column will be asked from the textbook. Filled data will be there. You can write on your own. By seeing that tabular column, you can write the answers. Let us discuss about the next question. What will happen if top predators are removed? Just now I have told. If top predators are removed, primary consumers and secondary consumers will increase. Why? Because top predators are not there means definitely primary consumers will increase, secondary consumers will increase. What about producers? Producers will definitely get decreased. Producers will decrease, primary consumer and tertiary consumers will increase. Next, section 3, 4 marks question. Write the differences between arteries and veins. This is 4 marks questions. Arteries and veins. This is also important. So arteries are distributing blood vessels, whereas veins are collecting blood vessels. Arteries carry what type of blood? Oxygenated blood, whereas veins carry deoxygenated blood. The color of the blood in arteries is reddish color or red color, whereas veins is bluish color. Whereas arteries, lumen of artery, that is the width of the artery is less, whereas the lumen is more. Here the pressure is, as the lumen is less, the pressure is more. Pressure is more. Here the pressure is less. At the same time, pressure is more in arteries and less in veins. Arteries carry oxygenated blood, whereas veins carry deoxygenated blood. The walls of the arteries are walls, W-A-L-L-S. They are thick, whereas the walls are very thin in veins. Arteries carry less amount of blood. Why? Because their width is very less, so they carry less amount of blood. Whereas veins carry more amount of blood. Why? The width is more, hence they carry more amount of blood. All arteries carry oxygenated blood except pulmonary artery, whereas all veins collect deoxygenated blood except pulmonary veins. These are the just general differences between arteries and veins. Arteries are distributing blood vessels, veins collect deoxygenated blood. Arteries carry oxygenated blood, reddish color, veins bluish color. Lumen, the width of the arteries is less, width of the veins is more. Pressure is more in arteries, pressure is less in veins. Walls are very thick in arteries, walls are very thin in veins, whereas less amount of blood, arteries carry less amount of blood, whereas veins carry more amount of blood. At the same time, walls, V-A-L-V-S, walls are absent in arteries, whereas valves, V-A-L-V-S, valves are present. These are differences between arteries and veins. Very, very important for your examination. Let us discuss about the next one. 12th question, that is drawing. Draw a neat labeled diagram of mitochondria or sperm cell. So mitochondria. So mitochondria is also known as powerhouse of the cell. So it is a rod-like structure. The mitochondria contains two compartments, outer compartment and inner compartment. You can see how to draw the mitochondria. It is very easy if you practice. This is the mitochondria. So this is outer compartment, and you can see the inner membrane. This is the inner compartment. Inside it is inner compartment. Outside it is outer compartment. This is outer membrane. Whatever I have drawn with black, it is the outer membrane. Whatever I have drawn with blue, this is the inner membrane. Outer membrane is very smooth. Inner membrane contains many folds. These folds are called cristae. The inner compartment is filled with a fluid called matrix. What do you call it as? Matrix. Matrix contains number of respiratory enzymes, elementary particles are attached to the inner membrane, etc. At the same time, a loop of DNA is present within the mitochondria, and number of respiratory enzymes are present in the mitochondria. These mitochondria are the sites of cellular respiration. They are the places of cellular respiration. Cellular respiration takes place inside the cells, but where? In a cellular organelle called mitochondria. So what are the parts? Outer compartment, inner compartment, outer membrane, inner membrane. Folding of inner membrane is called as cristae, and inner compartment is filled with a fluid called matrix. Next, sperm cell. Sperm cell. So I think you have understood how to draw the mitochondria. Let us discuss about the next important diagram, that is sperm cell. So sperm cell is a male gamete. The sperm cell contains head, neck, middle piece as well as tail. You can see the sperm cell diagram here. Head, neck, middle piece that contains mitochondria, and this is a tail. This is a tail, and there is acrosome. This is very important. Acrosome, and there is a nucleus, and there is mitochondria in the middle piece, and this is head, this is neck, and middle one is called middle piece that contains mitochondria, and this is tail. Okay, so head contains nucleus. Head is connected to the middle piece with the help of a neck. Our terminal part or the last part is the tail that helps in swimming. So sperms move with the help of energy that is produced by the mitochondria that is present in the middle piece. So what is the function of this sac-like structure or a bag-like structure on the head of the sperm? Acrosome penetrates into ovum. This acrosome helps in penetrating into the egg cell. That is most important. What is the function of acrosome? It helps in entering into the ovum. Okay, this is sperm cell. Head, neck, middle piece, tail. Middle piece contains mitochondria. Head contains acrosome and contains a nucleus. Right. Sperm cell important for 4 marks. Next 13th question. Any tabular column which is filled with data, by observing the tabular column you can write the answers. Any tabular column. Next, let us discuss few suggestions to reduce the global warming. How to reduce the global warming? So due to excess amount of carbon dioxide, global warming occurs. Already we know that this carbon dioxide, methane, chlorofluorocarbons. Due to all this is the earth gets warm, and that warming of the earth is nothing but global warming. So how to reduce the global warming? It is also very, very important. How to reduce the global warming? So instead of using vehicles, if the distance is short, it is better to walk, or you can use a bicycle. Second one is planting the trees and using energy efficient vehicles. Okay, like that you can write number of points like using renewable energies as well as less usage of electricity. So these points you can write. Electric vehicles can be utilized, or fuel efficient vehicles you can utilize, as well as afforestation or planting more number of trees and using this renewable energy. Like this you can write number of points to reduce the global warming. It is better to use bicycle. Okay, like that you can write number of points. Okay, so what are those points for reducing the global warming? First one is planting the trees or planting the planters. Second one is if the distance is shorter, better to walk or better to use the bicycle. Third one is using energy efficient vehicles. Fourth one is using electrical vehicles instead of using this fossil fuel vehicles. Fifth one is using renewable energy. Okay, like that you can write number of points. Okay, let us discuss about the next one, and better to use or follow the 4 R's: reduce, reuse, recycle, recover, to reduce the global warming. Let us discuss about the next question. What is the next question? Next question is plant hormones. 4 marks question. that comes from AS6, Academic Standard 6. Plant hormones differ or cooperate with one another to attain the plant growth. How do you use this knowledge in your daily life? What is asking? Plant hormones, they may differ or cooperate with one another to attain a plant growth. Isn't it? Yes, 100% correct. So plant hormones like auxins, abscisic acid, gibberellins, all cytokinins, all these are produced within the plant. But plant growth substances are prepared artificially by human beings. These plant growth substances can be used to the plant, for example, for seed germination, to break the seed dormancy, or early fruit ripening. For early fruit ripening, like that, you can use these plant growth regulators. Okay, and given for to control the crop production, for apical dominance, to kill the weedicides, these plant growth substances can be utilized. Let us discuss about the 8 marks question, very important question, that is 4 R's. 4 R's, very important, 4 R's. What are 4 R's? Already your teachers, they have already described this 4 R's. What is one R stands for reduce, second R stands for reuse, third one recycle, already you have seen the logo also, recycle logo. Fourth one is recover, very important, reduce, reuse, recycle, recover. Let us discuss about the first one, that is reduce. Reduce the usage of plastic bags. Instead of using these plastic bags, better to use these paper bags. Reduce the usage of plastic bags. Okay, use paper bags. Second one is reuse. You can reuse the plastic bags. Instead of purchasing the plastic bag in a shop, it is better to reuse the plastic bag. Instead of throwing the plastic bags into the soil, it is better to reuse the plastic bags, because if you throw in the soil, it leads to pollution. Recycle. It is better to recycle the plastics into fuel. Yes, plastics can be recycled into fuel. So recover, last one. So if you cut the trees in a place, so in that place, how many trees you have cut down, that many number of plants should be planted in a area. That is nothing but recover. Whatever the trees you have cut, you better to plant more number of plantlets in a place. That is nothing but recover. So reduce the usage of plastics, reuse the plastics, recycle the plastics into fuel. If you cut the trees, recover, for recover. If you cut the trees, better to plant number of plantlets. Okay, that is 4 R's. By taking plastics example, I have told this reduce, reuse, recycle and recover. Suggest some ways of reusing a resource in your locality. Suggest some ways in reusing a resource in your locality. So here we can take any example, a natural resource, whether it is a plants or animals, or it may be a water or minerals or whatever it may be. So I am taking a resource in my locality as water. So washing the hands near the garden. Okay, for reuse, I am telling, reusing the water. So washing the hands near the garden. So whatever the water that is used in the washing machines, that waste water or the water that has come from the drain pipe can be used to flush the toilets. Another point is the same water can be used to clean the floors. Another point is the same water, laundry water or the water that has come from the washing machine can be utilized to clean the cars. Like that you can write number of examples. So whatever the water you are going to use to clean or to wash the fruits as well as vegetables, that water can be utilized for the plants. So if you purify the water, the waste water, that water can be utilized for the agriculture. Like this you can write number of points. Recycled water can be utilized. Okay, after purification it can be used for agriculture. After purification you can utilize to recharge the underground water, waste water can be reused for flushing the toilets, cleaning the floors, cleaning a car. All these you can write in your examination. Okay, very important. Reusing the water in your locality means you have to write these points by taking an example of water. If you take the example of water, it will be very easy to write in the examination. Let us discuss about the next one, that is hydrilla funnel experiment and Bell-jar experiment. So hydrilla funnel experiment and Bell-jar experiment. So 17th question is always AS3, comes from academic standard 3, which is an experiment question. Hydrilla funnel experiment, very easy. Take a beaker, fill the beaker with the water. 3/4 of the beaker should be filled with water, and take a funnel. Insert the hydrilla fix into the funnel. This is funnel. You have to insert hydrilla fix into the funnel. At the same time, you have to take a test tube, fill the test tube with the water, and invert means reverse. Invert the test tube on the stem of the funnel. So the water in the test tube should be more than the water that is present in the beaker. Water which is present in the beaker should be more than the stem of the funnel. At the same time, by keeping this entire apparatus under the sunlight, what happens? So bubbles are formed. Carefully remove the test tube from the short stem of the funnel by keeping a thumb on the test tube, and insert a burning mastic. It glows vigorously, or it glows brightly. Why it is glowing brightly? When you remove the thumb, that bubbles come out. That bubbles are oxygen bubbles. How do you prove that they are oxygen bubbles? Because the mastic glows very brightly or vigorously. Okay. So if you keep the entire apparatus inside a dark room, bubbles are not formed. Whenever you keep the apparatus under the sunlight, then only the oxygen bubbles are formed, and these oxygen bubbles makes the mastic to glow brightly or vigorously. This is the hydrilla funnel experiment, very important. Precautions to be taken is, one thing, you have to take more amount of water in the beaker when compared to funnel. The level of the water in the beaker should be more than the level of the water in the stem of the funnel or inside the test tube. Okay, and instead of hydrilla fix, you can use Elodia fix. Okay, these are the general precautions to be taken for hydrilla funnel experiment, which is very, very important. Next, let us discuss about the Bell-jar experiment. In Bell-jar experiment or Presley's experiment, so he has took a Bell-jar. So he has kept a candle. So immediately, in a closed space of a Bell-jar, the burning candle has been put off. When he has placed a mouse, the mouse has been suffocated, unable to respire in a closed space of a Bell-jar. He has assumed that both of them are damaging the air within the closed space of a Bell-jar. Then he has kept a mint plant inside the closed space of a Bell-jar, and the candle is burning continuously and the mouse is alive. He has assumed that exchange of gases takes place between these. Plants are performing photosynthesis and producing the oxygen. That oxygen is utilized for burning of candle. That oxygen is utilized by the mouse for its survival. and the mouse is utilized the oxygen and produces carbon dioxide. That carbon dioxide is utilized by the plant to prepare its own food and producing the oxygen. Nothing but photosynthesis. The bell jar experiment, very easy. So I have completed these 4 marks and 8 mark questions. Let us discuss about the last model paper, guest paper 4. So guest paper 4, last one. First question is section 2 marks question. Write good food habits. Write good food habits. What are good food habits? So already you know, eating the food leisurely. Okay, first one. Take a simple and well balanced diet. Third one. While intaking the food or while chewing the food, you should not talk with others because choking may occur. Next one is eat food that contains roughages for easy bowel movements, and take plenty of water. Don't do exercises after intaking the food. Most of them they feel that the food is undigested and they after eating they are going to walk or they are going to run. It should not be happen after intaking the food. You are not to do any violent exercises. At the same time, take a well balanced diet, simple diet. See that you have to drink plenty of water. You should have a regular bowel movements. Okay, like this you can write number of food habits. Chew the food properly. Okay, don't talk while intaking the food materials. Like that you can write number of food habits. Easy, very easy. 2 marks. Easily you can attain. You can get 2 marks. What would be the next question? What would be the consequences if there is no meiosis in organisms? Actually, meiosis makes the chromosomes to remain constant. Chromosomes remain constant for further generations. It is because of meiosis division. If meiosis does not take place, if there is no meiosis, what happens? The chromosomes number will get double. And it will affect in the young ones. Abnormalities are seen in the children or the young ones. At the same time, the chromosome number will get double. 2 points. Chromosome number will get double. Abnormalities are seen in the organisms. 9th question, any tabular column. Fill the tabular column. You have to write the answers on your own. 10th question, if theory of inheritance of acquired character proposed by Lamarck was true, how will be the world? So, theory of inheritance of acquired characters proposed by Lamarck. Lamarck proposed this theory, inheritance of acquired characters. So, characters that are developed after the birth is acquired characters. Characters that are developed after the birth is an acquired characters. No way the acquired characters are inherited from one generation to next generation. So, what he has told, the neck of the giraffe and 4 limbs of the giraffe is equal to the size of the deer, as availability of food is very less. To intake the leaves or the plant products, the giraffe neck has been stretched so as to intake the leaves. 4 limbs also stretched so as to intake the plant products. So after few generations, the giraffes are born with long necks and long limbs, he has told. August Weismann, he has disproved this theory, acquired inheritance of acquired characters. He has disproved this theory. August Weismann, he has conducted an experiment. What he has conducted means he has cut the tails of rats for 22 generations, and he is observing the next generations of those rats. If we cut the tails of male rat and female rat, he is seeing the next generation that is produced by the male and female rat. The rats are born with tails. The parents are not having any tail because he has decapitated the tail, but the young ones are born with tails. So he has disproved the Lamarck theory. If the Lamarck theory becomes true, what will happen? We will never see the variations. All the roses will appear in red color. If the father is handicapped, the born child should be handicapped. Okay, but it's not happening. Okay, if the father and mother is tall, all generations will become tall. So it is totally wrong. Lamarck's theory is disproved by August Weismann. Next, section 3. 4 marks questions. Write the differences between aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. Aerobic and anaerobic. What is aerobic respiration and what is anaerobic respiration? anaerobic respiration. Easy, very easy. See, aerobic respiration, aerobic means oxygen. It requires oxygen. It does not require oxygen. In the absence of oxygen, if the respiration takes place in the absence of oxygen, then it is called as anaerobic respiration. If the respiration takes place in the presence of oxygen, it is aerobic respiration. In the aerobic respiration, more amount of energy is released, more, whereas less amount of energy is released in anaerobic respiration. So aerobic respiration is seen in plants, human beings, animals, etc. Whereas anaerobic respiration is seen in bacteria, yeast, single cell organisms like bacteria, yeast, sometimes in our muscles that produces lactic acid. Okay, that is later we can discuss. And one more difference you can write here: carbon dioxide and water and energy is produced, whereas here carbon dioxide, ethyl alcohol and energy is produced, or lactic acid plus energy is produced. Lactic acid and energy is produced. So what are the differences? Aerobic respiration takes place in the presence of oxygen, anaerobic respiration takes place in the absence of oxygen. More amount of energy is produced in anaerobic respiration, less amount of energy is produced in anaerobic respiration. Plants, human beings, animals undergo aerobic respiration. In anaerobic respiration, bacteria, yeast, single cell organisms undergo anaerobic respiration. Carbon dioxide, water are the end products with energy. Carbon dioxide, ethyl alcohol, energy are produced, or lactic acid and energy are produced. Let us discuss about the next one. Draw a neat label diagram of kidney, internal structure of kidney. So how to draw the internal structure of kidney? How to draw the internal structure of kidney? Right. Outer surface, cortex. Outer portion is cortex. Now I am drawing the inner portion. I'm drawing a rough diagram because we don't have more time. Okay, now slowly you have to attach them. Slowly attach them, and these are nephrons. These are renal pyramids. When nephrons are present, this is the medulla, and this is pelvis, funnel shaped like structure, which continues as ureter. This is ureter, and this is pelvis. Funnel shaped like structure is called pelvis, continues as ureter. Outer portion is cortex, and inner portion is called cortex, and inner portion is called medulla. And each kidney contains 1.3 to 1.8 million nephrons, and the funnel shape like structure, this is a funnel shape like structure is called pelvis, continues as ureter. And this is renal pyramids and contains nephrons. There is a capsule around it, it is called as renal capsule that protects the kidney. Very easy, internal structure of kidney. What are the remaining parts? Cortex, medulla, pelvis, ureter, and one more thing I have forgot, that is artery. Renal artery. This is renal artery, and this is renal vein. One is renal artery, another one is renal vein. Renal artery brings the wastes as well as oxygenated blood, and there is another blood vessel, that is the renal vein. This is the structure of the internal structure of the kidney. Let us discuss about the next one, that is structure of flower. Structure of flower. You can see the structure of flower here, datura flower. This is the basal part called thalamus, and basal part called thalamus, or the swollen part, enlarged part is called thalamus. And you can see here ovary, and this is style, and this is stigma, and this is inside the ovary. There are ovules. Easily you can run, no need to worry. And this is petals, and these are stamens, contains anther. This is anther, contains pollen grains, and this is a stamen, filament. Now I have drawn filament, and now this is anther that contains pollen grains. This is a simple structure of flower. So this is a stamen, stamen, male reproductive organ stamen, and female reproductive organ is pistil or carpel. It is style. Each pistil contains style. This is stigma, and this is ovary. Ovary contains ovules, and these are petals. Petals together form corolla. Petals together form corolla, and this is calyx. Calyx contain sepals. So these are the parts of the flower. One is calyx that contains sepals, which are green in color. Next one is petals, which are in different colors to attract the insects. And the third one is a male reproductive organ called stamen. Each contains anther, filament, and contains pollen grains. And the fourth one is stigma style ovary, which constitutes the pistil or a carpel. That contains ovary, contains ovules. Above the ovules there is a thin tube-like structure called style, and there is a swollen part called stigma. Okay, this is the structure of flower. This is also very important for your examination. Let us discuss about the next question, that is tabular column. So filled tabular column will be given, and you have to observe and you have to write. Next one is what is fluorosis? How to reduce it? It is very important. Fluorosis. What is fluorosis? So intake of water that contains more amount of fluorine is the fluorosis. Intake of water that contains more fluorine causes fluorosis. So how to reduce the fluorosis? Creating awareness about fluorosis, first point. Second point, by intaking the fruits like guava, and intaking millets, intaking jaggery will help in reducing the effects of fluorosis. Okay, you can write like this. Okay, next one. So intaking guava. Second one is intaking of millets. Third one is intaking of jaggery. Will helps to reduce the symptoms of fluorosis. Next, birth control methods. Birth control methods, important. Birth control methods. Birth control methods, important. So, prevention of pregnancy by preventing the fertilization is called contraception. What is contraception? Preventing the pregnancy by preventing the fertilization is called contraception. The devices or any devices that helps to prevent the contraception is nothing but contraceptives. What is contraception? Prevention of pregnancy by preventing the fertilization is a contraception. Any device that is used to prevent the contraception is contraceptive devices. Contraceptives or contraceptive devices. There are 4 types of birth control methods. One is surgical method. Second one is intrauterine devices. Fourth one is by using chemicals. Third one is by using chemicals. Fourth one is by using some physical devices. So what are the 4 methods? Surgical method, intrauterine devices, chemical method, physical devices. Let us discuss about the surgical method. So there are 2 types of surgical methods. One is vasectomy. vasectomy. Second one is tubectomy. Very important. Tubectomy. So vasectomy means cutting down of sperm duct through surgical method. Cutting down of vasectomy for men. Cutting down of vas deferens or cutting down of sperm duct through surgical method is called vasectomy. Cutting down of oviduct or fallopian tube. It is a tubectomy. Cutting down of oviduct or fallopian tube by surgical method is tubectomy. Next one is intrauterine devices like caps, diaphragms, neuros, condoms. All these are going to stop the contraception. Okay, neuros, caps, diaphragms, all these stop the contraception. Third one is chemical method like spermicides. Spermicides are the chemicals that kills the sperms, as well as there are some few chemicals that stop the ovulation. They stop the ovulation. Few chemicals. Next one is physical devices. Physical devices like there are a number of physical devices. Just now I told physical devices are neuros as well as caps, diaphragms, whereas intrauterine devices are copper T loop. Copper T loop is used. T loop is used to stop the entry of sperms, and that copper makes the sperms inactive. Copper makes the sperms inactive. So copper T loop is utilized. Copper T loop is utilized by the women. So it comes under intrauterine devices. Physical devices are nothing but these neuros as well as cap, diaphragms. All they come under physical devices. Okay. So one is surgical method, vasectomy, tubectomy. Intrauterine devices like copper T loop that makes the sperms inactive. Next one is chemical methods like spermicides that kills the sperms, and chemicals that stop the release of ovum. Next one, physical devices like neuros, condoms, diaphragms, caps. They all come under physical devices. Okay, this is very important for 4 marks. Let us discuss about the next one. So last one, that is section 4, 8 marks question. Let us discuss about the 8 marks question. Write any two food chains. From terrestrial ecosystem, that is from land, and aquatic ecosystem, that is from water, ponds, lakes, like that, seas, oceans. So two food chains from terrestrial ecosystem. Simple food chain. We will write a simple food. Grass is eaten by goat. Goat is eaten by man. This is the one terrestrial in terrestrial ecosystem, one food chain. And the second food chain, grass is eaten by insects. Insects are eaten by frog. Frog is eaten by snake. Yes, children. Snake is eaten by eagle. This is one more food chain. Grass producer, primary consumer insect, secondary consumer frog, tertiary consumer snake. Eagle is the top carnivore or climax consumer. Okay, right. Next, in aquatic ecosystem, algae is eaten by zooplanktons. Small animals, microscopic animals on the sea. Zooplanktons were eaten by small fishes. Small fishes were eaten by large fishes. Similarly, fourth aquatic food chain, like phytoplanktons. Phytoplanktons are algae or phytoplanktons. Phyto means plant. Planktons, small plants, microscopic plants are eaten by insects. Insects are eaten by small fishes. Small fishes are eaten by big fish. So this question was asked in pre-final. So grass is eaten by goat. Goat is eaten by man. Grass is eaten by insects. Insects are eaten by frog. Frog is eaten by snake. Snake is eaten by eagle. This arrow indicates which organism is eaten by which organism. So grass is eaten by whom? Grass is eaten by insect. Insect is eaten by frog. This arrow is indicating that the insects are eaten by frog, like that. Okay, algae, big plankton, small fishes, large fishes. Algae, insects, small fishes, big fishes. Okay, these are 4 food chains. Next, Darwin's theory in a nutshell. Darwin's theory in a nutshell. So Darwin's theory, by just thinking about Darwin's theory, we can remember 2 things. That is variations. Second one is natural selection theory. Natural selection theory. Survival of fittest. Evolution. So variations can occur in any organisms. What are variations? Differences in the characters among the individuals of a species. In a group of organisms, even though we are human beings, number of differences are seen from one organism to another organism. These variations gets accumulated for a long period of years and produces new species. Variations gets accumulated in the organism for a long period and produces a new species. At the same time, Darwin's theory is natural selection theory. Natural selection theory. Nature selects which organism has to survive. That means which organism has to live and which organism has to perish or disappear in the nature. For example, if there are 2 deers, one deer is with 4 legs and another deer is with 3 legs. So which deer is able to survive? The deer with 4 legs is able to survive. The deer with 3 legs cannot survive. Next is survival of fittest. Survival of fittest means there are, for example, the organisms with fit characters. The organisms with fit characters, they are able to survive. The organisms with unfit characters, they are unable to survive. For example, I just now I told about deers also. At the same time, there is a struggle for existence. Struggle for existence. What is struggle for existence? Struggle for existence means there will be a lot of struggle among the species. In that struggle, only few species will remain on the earth. The other species are going to disappear. That is called struggle for existence. For example, there are n number of young ones may be produced for a dog. For example, for a cat, lot of kittens are produced. For a dog, lot of puppies are produced, but only few puppies are going to remain. Other puppies may be lost due to accident, due to diseases, or due to some other problems, due to scarcity of food. Those puppies will die. Only 1 or 2 puppies will develop into a dog. Okay. So the fit character, organism with fit character is going to survive. Unfit characters, the organisms with unfit character will perish, will disappear in the nature. So variations will help the individual to live and adjust to that environment. That variations helps to adapt those organisms in any environment. Okay, right. Let us discuss about the next one. Natural resources are decreasing rapidly. Guess what will be the consequences? So if the natural resources are decreasing rapidly, what happens? We have, if the natural resources are the natural wealth, isn't it or not? This natural wealth is essential for our economic growth. So if the natural resources are reducing day by day, we have to depend upon others. For natural resources, we have to depend on other nations. At the same time, the balance will get disturbed. The ecological imbalance is seen. At the same time, vehicle running with fossil fuels becomes useless 100%. At the same time, future generations may not get these natural resources. So at the same time, we are supposed to use only recycled materials, because natural resources are decreasing means definitely we have to use the recycled materials. Balance in the nature will get disturbed. So demand for the natural resources may increase. Like this, you can write number of points. Okay. Let us discuss about the next one, last question. That is, Suggest any 3 programs for prevention of soil pollution in view of avoiding pesticides. Same question is asked previously also. In previous guest paper I have told should we think of alternatives in view of avoiding pesticides. In that question also we have discussed suggest any 3 programs for prevention of soil pollution. So crop rotation, instead of growing the same crop in the next year we have to change the another crop in the next year. Second one is selective harvesting. Instead of harvesting all the plants, it's better to select only few plants to get harvest, and roots of the plants are going to hold the nutrients. So selective harvesting helps to protect the soil that contains nutrients. If you plug the plant along with the roots, all the nutrients will be depleted or reduced. Next one is life history of the pest. By studying the life history of pest, crop rotation, sterility, making the reproductive organs of the insects sterile by using X-rays, and studying the and even by developing the genetic strains, as well as contour farming. So farming across the slope, okay, so that if you farm across the slope, so that what happens against the wind, the water will slowly move from one step to next step, so that the nutrients will not get depleted in the soil. Like that, selective harvesting, contour, CONTOUR, contour farming, and crop rotation. Like this, these programs helps in preventing the soil pollution by in the view of avoiding pesticides. Okay, that is 8 mark question, important. Next is slogans on water conservation. I have told already. Slogans on soil conservation already I have told. Protect the soil. Soil is the main base for green crops. Healthy soil will produce healthy crop. Like that you can write number of slogans. Next one is I have left few questions. Let me complete. Okay. Open type of circulatory system, closed type of circulatory system. What is open type of circulatory system? If the blood flows into the spaces, then it is called as open type of circulatory system. Example, insects. If the blood flows within the blood vessels, it is a closed type of circulatory system. Example, human beings, animals. If the blood flows into the open spaces, it is open circulatory system. Example, insect. Closed circulatory system, if the blood flows within the blood vessels, it is closed type of circulatory system. Next one is single circulation and double circulation. Single and double circulation. So single circulation means, for example, the heart pumps the deoxygenated blood to gills, and in the gills deoxygenated blood is converted to oxygenated blood. That oxygenated blood will be supplied to the heart, will be supplied to the body parts, supplied to the body parts. Body parts utilize that oxygenated blood and produces deoxygenated blood, and this deoxygenated blood is carried to heart, and heart pumps that deoxygenated to the gills. Gills convert the deoxygenated blood into oxygenated blood. Oxygenated blood is supplied from gills to body parts of the fish. Again, body parts utilize that oxygenated blood and produce deoxygenated blood. This deoxygenated blood is carried to the heart, where in the gills, respiratory organs of fishes, gills, deoxygenated blood is converted to oxygenated. As the blood touches the heart for only one time, it is a single circulation. If the blood touches the heart for 2 times, it is a double circulation. Single circulation takes place only in fishes. Double circulation takes place in human beings, animals. For example, if you see the block diagram for double circulation, for example, you think there is a heart that consisting of 4 chambers. Heart consisting of these 4 chambers, and these are body parts, and this is lungs. Let us see, this is a heart. So from the body parts deoxygenated blood, is carried. Deoxygenated blood is carried to right auricle to right ventricle to, from right ventricle through pulmonary artery, it enters into lungs, and then in the lungs deoxygenated blood is converted into oxygenated blood. Now the oxygenated blood enters into left auricle and then into the left ventricle and then into the body parts. So keep the arrows to understand. So here the blood touches for twice, 2 times to the heart. The blood touches the heart for twice, then it is called as double circulation. Important, double circulation blood diagram. Next, types of teeth already I told. Incisors, canines, premolars, molars. 8, 4, 8, 12. Cutting. Incisors helps in cutting the food. Canines tearing the food. Premolars, molars crushing and grinding the food. Next, they may ask this question like, female reproductive system. So they may give diagram of female reproductive system and ask these questions like, what are the female reproductive organs? Ovaries, female reproductive organs produce how many gametes? Only one gamete or ovum is released in each month. Only one ovum is released in each month, either from right ovary or from the left ovary. Where does fertilization takes place? Fertilization takes place in the fallopian tube. And where does the fetus gets developed? Fetus developed in the uterus, the womb of the mother or the uterus of the female reproductive system. Next, the vitamin, which vitamin is synthesized by the bacteria in the small intestine? Which vitamin is synthesized? That is vitamin B12 or cyanocobalamin, that is synthesized by E. coli bacteria in small intestine. Deficiency of vitamin C causes scurvy. Deficiency of vitamin D causes rickets. Okay. Last but not the least, I will end with this question about blood coagulation. Last one, blood coagulation. Actually, when there is an injury, within 3 to 6 minutes, the blood should get coagulated. A reddish solid material should be formed on the injured part. That reddish solid material is nothing but clot, blood clot. Okay, it should be happen within 3 to 6 minutes. Here you can see, whenever there is an injury, definitely blood platelets will release an enzyme called thrombokinase. Thrombokinase converts prothrombin into thrombin. Thrombin converts insoluble fibrinogen into fibrin fibers. Okay. Platelets release thrombokinase enzyme. Thrombokinase acts on prothrombin. Prothrombin is converted into thrombin. Thrombin acts on fibrinogen. Fibrinogen converts into fibrin. These fibrin fibers attaches to the edges of the wound and pull the skin so that the wound gets healed. Vitamin K is essential for blood clotting. And all the best to all the 10th class students. At the same time, I thank to my family members who has cooperated to do this video. My wife as well as my children, they have supported me to do this video. At the same time, I thank to my gurus like my intermediate lecturer Srinivas sir, who is working in Veldurti Mandalam, Alagundu. At the same time, I thank to Rajeshwari Madam Garu, she is my intermediate lecturer, inspired me to take this biology subject. At the same time, I thank to DSO Rangamma Madam. At the same time, I thank to Rajshekhar sir, especially because he has created the WhatsApp group where number of biology teachers are there within the WhatsApp group. Number of biology teachers are sharing their experiences. At the same time, they are giving valuable suggestions. They are clearing number of doubts. So thankful to Rajshekhar sir, who is working in Veldurthi Boys High School. At the same time, I thank to all my mentors, especially Vijay Kumar sir. The number of mentors are there who are mentoring us. At the same time, I thank to Neelakanta sir garu, who is in our WhatsApp group, as well as Uma Devi madam garu, who is supporting the biology subject with a number of experiments by creating number of experiments and producing these experiments in our WhatsApp group. Inspired me a lot to do this video. I hope this video will help the 10th class students to get at least 45 to 50 marks, especially for C grade students as well as D grade students. Thank you so much. All the best to all the 10th class children. Thank you so much. Bye.